Hey, we're up and running. Looky here. I'm on live TV just ignoring y'all like it's my job. What is going on? Party people. See if I can get this thing loaded up so we can observe ourselves. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, we're up and running. Got a couple comments already. Let's see who's here first. What is up? Random Skills. Random Skills. Well, randomly, hello. How are you doing? Bassman is here. Willie J. Allen Jr. in the house. Hey, Willie, just to let you know, you're Willie Jr. and I'm Billy Jr. How about that, bud? Yes, indeed. Yee live action. That's right, Turtle Man. Calm down, Jay Crane. Appreciate you. Kevin Jones. What is going on? Man, it's a beautiful time of year to be a fisherman. I'll tell you what, though, boys, in the life of a guide, you start to feel it come May. Let's just say that. The fatigue starting to set in pretty good. Throw that frog. That is right. Little Caney in the house. Hey, I was in your house today for a while. Brett Wren, Grant Marsh. What we doing it up? We got all the questionable characters in here tonight. I love it. I love it. What is up? Miss you too, Brian Proctor. I appreciate you, buddy. Hey, it's a fun time of year, man. They're starting to bite that topwater bait, and man, I think everybody likes to catch fish on top, right? I mean, who doesn't like to see a fish blow up on the topwater and then set the hook? That's a lot of fun. Suck it up, Buttercup. That's right. Just like I tell my kids. But yeah, a few different topwater baits working. We still got a lot of sight fishing going on. I've had a lot of people go, man, they're still on beds. Yeah, there's still a bunch of fish on beds, guys. A bunch. I mean, on the southern end of the lake, there's a lot of fish still on beds. So sight fishing is absolutely still a viable option. I saw the biggest fish on a bed the first part of this week that I may have seen all year on a bed. That fish was huge. Now, she wasn't right. She wasn't ready. We couldn't catch her, and I tried to go back, and she was gone next day or whatever. But, man, she was probably 11 or 12 pounds. Probably the biggest fish I've visibly seen on a bed this year. So there's still some really good sight fishing to be had available. Hey, let's go ahead, I guess. We got plenty of people in here tonight. Let's go ahead and get started on top 5 baits. Yeah, somebody already mentioned it, but y'all know who's first. My old frog dog. Right here, Mr. Spro Popping Frog in the yellow belly color. Old Amazon tree frog, whatever it is. We call it old yellow belly. My frog dog, she'll go fetch them up for you, boys. She's been fetching them up pretty regular here lately. Tell you guys a little tip. Some of these pros, especially the last few years, when you buy them, when you get it, the plastic's kind of stiff when you buy it. Little trick. Take that Spro out of that package, lay it on the deck of the boat while you fish, or lay it on the hood of your car on a Sunday. Just leave it out in the sun for a couple days. It doesn't really fade the color, but man, it softens that up, and that affects your hookup ratio greatly when you soften that plastic. Just a little top secret guide trick right there for you guys. I always hear from my people, man. I always try to take care of you guys. Next bait I'm going to talk about, another topwater bait. So we're throwing this around grass, obviously. There's some brim beds starting to pop up. If you know where some brim beds are, you can throw it around brim beds and get good results in the morning time or on cloudy days. When you're on windy points, the grass is submerged a little. If you can get this bait through there, it's the best one to throw right now. 6 cents Dogma. And I'm getting text messages while I'm trying to go live here. But the 6 cents Dogma, walking style bait, if you can get this through there, if the grass is below the water enough where you can use this bait, this is the topwater bait they bite the best right now. And it'll be the topwater bait they bite the best, probably from now till July. So wherever I can get away with using this and it's holding fish, I want to use 6 cents Dogma. This is Ghost Pro Blue color. But I'm also in the dirtier water, I'm using the Spanish bone pearl. It's white, just solid white, bright white. But that's the two colors we're using on that. Do we bend the hooks out on a frog? I bend them out. This one hadn't been bent yet. I just laid this one out the other day outside to get soft for me, and I just grabbed it for the live stream. But yeah, so we bend them out this way, not up. We don't bend them up. That weakens the hook. But we bend them out away from the body, just to where there's a little bit of gap. Like right now, see how I don't catch? I want there to be just enough gap where my finger catches. So you want to bend them out to where they're about like that right there. Yeah, we do not bend them up, guys. I never ever bend them up. We just bend them out. All right. This has probably been throughout the day, day in, day out, the #1 bait on my boat for a while. You guys know where we're going with this, old Smash Tech, Hollowbody. And really have turned over now that the Gizzard shad have kind of, seems like the Gizzard shad have kind of done their spawning thing, and it's mostly a threadfin spawn now. Don't get me wrong, we have some big threadfins. Before we had threadfins 4 or 5 inches. That's a big bait. But this 4.5-inch Hollowbody by Smash Tech in light hitch, and then like the white shad color that's just bright white with a gray back. Those have been the two colors I use, but all day long, even when we're bed fishing, I'll have the person on the back of the boat throw this, and we get bit. We catch fish on it sporadically off and on throughout the day. It's been really consistent, everyday bite getter from the north end to the south end. It's getting bit. All right, let's see y'all. And this bait, you guys kind of saw it if you watched yesterday's video a little bit, but the impact shad, man, the impact shad has been a really good bait for us. We can walk this around grass edges. You know, a lot of times if the shad spawn bite's a little slow, they don't really get going that morning for whatever reason, you know, you can definitely increase your numbers by throwing the impact shad. Fluke style bait with a joint in it, has an awesome gliding action as it dies. Just a phenomenal, unique little take on a bait that's always gotten a lot of bites, but a unique take on it that helps get even more bites. So really cool little bait. It's really versatile too. Show you guys something here that I'm doing. Yeah, I like that bait a lot because you can twitch that bait and it almost wants to walk on you under the surface, and you can twitch it forward and dart it around like a traditional fluke, and then it'll glide out like I said. When you swim that thing, that tail actually vibrates. You could put that on a chatterbait as a trailer. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with this bait. There's something else that I just started doing today. Well, not today. I've been doing it for a couple days. But you know, I told you we're still doing some sight fishing. Well, meet my new sight fishing rig, guys. You know, I'm not one to be real particular about what bait I throw on a sight fishing rig, but that thing with that jointed tail is great on a bed. You throw it in there, and it sits, you know, with the weight, you know, anchors it nose down, and that tail just kicks up and it sits there and wiggles at them. Whew, allergies, I apologize. But rigging that impact shad up on a Texas rig, that tail will just sit up there and just kind of, even when it's sitting dead still. That's a big deal in a bed. When that bait's sitting there moving, even while you're just leaving it sit there, it's doing the work for you. Man, that's a huge, huge deal for bed fishing. So it's a new sight fishing bait for me. I like it. I'm going to use it a lot on beds from now on. Next year I'll be using it a lot earlier in the year than I did this year. Really cool bait. And it's made by a really cool guy, Lake Fork legend Mark Pack, so that's always cool. You can find those at impactlures.com. You can buy them at Lake Fork Marina. And don't forget, man, look, guys, I know there's a lot of different walking baits out there. If I'm being honest with you guys, they all, you know, they can all have a little bit different action, but as long as that thing will walk back and forth, a lot of times it's not going to matter. They're biting the splash. But just, you know, it's a quality bait with a great paint job, great hooks. You know it's going to work right out of the package every time. 6 Sense Dogma, that is a tremendous walking bait. And if you go on their website, you guys know you can punch in that code, your Lake Fork guide, get a 10% discount. So right there on the checkout screen, it'll say enter promo code, and you just punch in your Lake Fork Guide, all one word, and you get your little discount. All right, let's start trying to make our way through some questions. How durable is it at the hinge? I have yet to have one pull a tail off. Somebody's asking about the Impact Shad. It's got that little hinge tail. I've never had it tear apart, so it's pretty durable. Pretty durable. Let me try to go back up to the top here, see if I can get. I know there were some questions up here early. Let's see here. Somebody says they're throwing the walking bait on their home lake and kill them. Have I ever fished Lake Whitney? I've never fished Lake Whitney. If you get on your spot an hour before sunrise, what do you suggest to start throwing and the technique? If it's before sunrise, honestly, the swim bait would probably be good. I would probably try to go slow too. I think, in dark hours, I'm a big fan of going slow. At night when I do night fishing, I throw a lot of big worms, big jigs. I'll probably slow it down maybe. Throw that weightless fluke, throw a shaky head or something like that. How do you keep the bass off your truck hood? when you lay yellow belly on it, how do you keep the bass off your truck hood? That's pretty good, Brett Red. I like that. Uh-oh. We get kicked back down to the bottom. Do I do any modifications to, let me see, I just lost that again. Do I do any modifications to the frog? On the modifications, do I do any modifications to the frog and then say, how that work? The only modifications I do, like this one has the leg trimmed a little bit shorter. I went ahead and trimmed that because we are walking it right now. If you're going to be walking it all the time, trimming one leg shorter than the other helps that bait walk a little better. But these baits will walk real good with the full legs, dead even and everything. I usually always trim the legs a little bit. I don't ever leave the full amount of legs on there. Just a little bit, maybe a ½ inch, quarter inch, something like that. The biggest modification though is bending those hooks out. That's a big deal, guys. Am I one of the 10 Skeeter pros that'll be doing the shootout at the owner tournament? No, I'm not. I'm not on Skeeter's pro staff. Skeeter does. I've actually tried. Skeeter doesn't think I'm good enough, I think. All right, trying to find where I was. If I lost my place, I lost my place. We got dead time. Oh, jeez. All right, you guys that had questions at the top, please ask them again because it keeps kicking me down. Do not leave fish to find more. He said, I learned something over the weekend to don't leave fish to find more fish. Came in 6 over 2 days in one creek. Yeah, that's a good point. Never leaving fish. Mark Zone. If any of you guys I like Mark Zone. I know some people don't, but I love Mark Zone. He's probably my favorite fishing show guy other than Hank Parker. Hank Parker's my favorite all time, but he actually has a song that he got into pretty good with Kevin Van Dam one time talking about never leaving fish to find more fish. And there's a lot of truth to that. The only time that's there's one exception to that rule. And it comes on lakes like Fork or Gunnersville or Okeechobee or, these big fish factories that are known for big. All right, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. I lost most of you there, but that's okay. Maybe y'all will come back in. I really apologize. So somebody asked earlier, I know I saw it somewhere, does the hollow belly work better than a solid body? A hollow belly has a completely different action than a solid body swim bait. Yes, it works better because it's different. The whole body wiggles at a very much more extreme rate than any other type of swim bait. So, there's something to the Smash Tech hollow body that's completely different than the others, guys. Heath makes those baits to work and to last, and he makes them for himself to use as a fisherman. And they got it going on, man. That is a special, special bait, man. It's a guy that makes a dozen or more different swim baits, maybe 20 different swim baits, and he makes that bait, and it was his favorite that he kept to himself and didn't sell for years. In fact, I'll take credit. I'm the only reason he started selling that bait, because all right. Was there? Oh, there was a seminar, and I've got content of it. It's actually, I'm going to post it this Saturday. I messed up. That's my fault on that. So there was a seminar last Friday. What do you think? Why do I think Fork's water is still dirty? Because we keep getting rain and wind every day, and the other thing is the water temp keeps staying cool. There's actually microorganisms in the water that help clean it out that do not live in cold water, and so the hotter it gets, the faster the water will clear up. But right now the water, I saw like 69-degree water in part of the lake the other day. Boys, I've never seen water in the 60s in May in Texas in my life. So this Friday night, no, we're not. No seminar this Friday night. Will be next Friday. I'll post the seminar from last week this Saturday. I think I'll be able to get it up Saturday. It's the footage was one of the reasons I hadn't done it yet. The footage is real bad, man. It cuts in and out real bad. It was not good. What do you use for swim bait? Oh my goodness, just popped me down. The 6-inch rods are awesome. I'm fixing to get the full line. Somebody asked how well do I like the 6-inch rods. The 6-inch rods are phenomenal. This is the one I'm sight fishing with. This is the 7-1 medium heavy with a fast action. Great sight fishing rod, little Texas rig rod. You can do a lot of things. This 7-1 medium heavy with a fast action is a very versatile rod you can do a lot of things with. I got no qualms about going to them. I promise you guys, those rods, it's like everything 6th Sense does. It is a top-end, high-class, bad you-know-what type of product for a very fair price. I got no problem putting my stamp on 6-inch rods. They're great. How long will the shad spawn go on? Well, if the water keeps staying in the lower part of the 70s, it'll probably last forever. I don't know, man. Usually the shad spawn's kind of a, 2 to 3 week type of situation, maybe a month. This year, it's probably going to last a little longer because these water temps are getting drug out. JD Sportsroom said he's been killing it on a paddle tail swim bait, and the water's clearing up because he can see his motor prop now. That's about right, buddy. When do I use a line through versus a hollow belly? Well, a hollow belly is kind of a one-off, a little bit unique. So I like the hollow belly. Like the hotter the water gets, I like the hollow belly more and more. Now my signal is going to fade again. Come back, please. Thank you. Guys, I'm sorry about the signal tonight. The line through I like to use when the water's colder. When I want that slow presentation like I like for the convict, that's when I want to go through a line through. So for me, the question is, when do I use a line through, or when do I use a weedless convict or something like that? That's really more of the question, and it's just cover related. I use a line through when I can get away with it. I use a weedless version when I have to because of the cover present. These shell bed points are a tremendous opportunity for the line through. That's why everybody uses line throughs on them. The hookup ratio is better on a line through. The landing ratio is almost 100% on a line through because that bait slides up away from the hook. That's the big deal with the line through. And you can go so slow with them, just like you do the weedless convict. JD Sportser, he said the shad spawn will go on until they're done spawning. I like it. I like it. Where do we buy yellow belly and what brand is it? It's a Spro Poppin' Frog. You can buy it just about anywhere. You can buy them at Oak Ridge Marina. You can buy them at Tackle Warehouse. I think you can buy them at Walmart. You can buy them at Academy. Spro Poppin' Frog in the mid-size. I think it's the 65. Bronze Eye Popper 65 is what it's officially called. It's just a mid-tier size spro popper frog, real easy to find. Holy cow. JD Sports Room asked about running a line through grass. You cannot run a line through grass. It's not going to happen, guys. It's just not going to happen. That treble hook's going to catch. You can if there's a gap. Like Heath likes to throw it on Welsh where there's a gap. If there's like a 3 or 4 foot gap between the top of the grass and the surface, then that line through is perfect. Actually, that's a really good scenario because you can throw it out there and it doesn't sink because it's weightless, and you can just crawl that thing over the top of that grass without it getting down in it. But as far as like grass that you can visually see on the surface, you can't throw that line through in there. That grass is going to wad up because you got a treble hook hanging off the bottom of it. Am I confident enough with the Hollowbody swim baits to use in a tournament? If I was fishing a tournament on Fork tomorrow, the Hollowbody swim bait would be my #1 bait that I'd probably throw all daggum day. I'm absolutely confident enough. It's a numbers bait. It catches big fish. It catches unders. It catches them all, guys. It's a bait I'm really excited about. I've been really excited about it since I got introduced to it last fall. I knew as the fish started spawning, when they started coming off those beds, when the bait fish started spawning, as the water got warmer, I knew that all that tight, hard body wiggle that it has, I knew it was going to work, and I was right for once. It worked out really good. We've been catching the fire out of on it. Up north, it seems to me I have one shot at picking a good point because of the idle time in and out. What am I missing? I feel like I'm following your advice well enough. Okay, Juice, here we go, buddy. Here's what you have to do. You got to do your homework, man. It's about homework, right? So, yeah, you're right. You got one shot in the morning. Like, when you're going there in the morning, you got to know where you're going. Come on, people. Come on, Signal. There we go. Juice, sorry. What pattern's next after shad spawn? I'll answer that question next. All right. What you have to do is, once the shad spawn is over, you'll still find that bait. Like, you'll still see the bait. They just won't be boiling. You just got to hunt down, and you got to find the grassy points and such as that have shad on them. One big key factor is the birds, guys. The herons, the white egrets. Man, and I'm talking about hunting down a bunch of them, right? That's the deal. So if you can find, the more of them you can find, the better chance that you're going to have of finding that shad spawn. And other than that, it's just, like I said, the homework. Cover that grass, go in there, fish a chatterbait in there, fish that Hollowbody swim bait in there, and see where you can stir up some shad in that grass and locate those for your next trip. And I promise, when you find it, there won't be no, like, you won't pull up on a point and go, man, I wonder if the shad are spawning here. You won't ask that question. You'll be idling into that point, and you'll see shad popping everywhere. They'll be popping out of the water. It's real obvious when you do find it. I hope that helps, man. Just keep searching, dude. You gotta do some homework. All right, let's see if we can get this. What pattern is next after the shad spawn? All right, so the bluegill have already started spawning. So as the shad spawn starts to wind down, look for the bluegill spawn. Bluegill colored swim jigs, bluegill colored square bills, bluegill colored swim baits, and frogs will all work on that as well. But the other pattern that comes is the deep pattern. There's an early deep pattern that happens, which this year is not happening early because of the water temps. But the early part of the deep pattern, when those fish first get out there, before everybody's out there on them, probably the best deep bite of the year in my opinion. Usually it's happening right now. Right now there's a few fish starting to get out there, not enough. This year that pattern is probably going to get busted up early because there's already a bunch of people looking for that. They're starting to look because it happened in years past, even though the fish aren't out there yet. So this year, normally what happens is those fish get out there on those long main lake points early, in the summer, late in the spring, and they're unmolested. Nobody's fishing for them. And they have time to kind of gather up into schools of 5 to 10 bass. And when that happens, and you can get out there and be the first one on them, you can crush them real easy. Probably not going to happen so much this year because there's people already looking for it and they ain't even gone out there yet. But that deep bite, Carolina rig, 3/4 ounce hybrid jig, you can catch you some Hoss dandies. if you guys want to know what happened when TTBC was here and Keith Combs broke all the record, they timed it in May, right when that happened. Right when those first schools of fish were stacking up offshore, 5 to 10 fish at a time, sometimes even less than that. And those guys were picking off those big post-spawn females as they were just getting out there and getting rested and recovering and starting to fatten back up. And they were eating. And they broke every bass fishing record there ever has been when they did that. Juice says, it's coming. I caught 30 males offshore last Tuesday. I'm glad you caught the 30 males, but one has nothing to do with the other. You can always find schools of fish offshore on Fork if you look hard enough. I don't care if it's the middle of spawn or whatever it is. Those big schools of those smaller fish are not the same deal. It's a different deal. It's, like I said, groups of 5 to 10 usually females that'll stack up on super long main lake points way out in the middle of the main lake, about 30 foot of water to 25 foot of water maybe, and they're little wolf packs of giants. And like pretty much all the fish you catch in there are like 5, 6, 7 and bigger. They're huge and it's awesome. All off the guide in the graph. Hey, the guide in the graph has fish on it. What do you know? Yeah, the big females could be right behind them, but those males making their way out there, that's not necessarily them making their way out there. There's always packs of smaller fish that are out there. And some of those fish, believe it or not, what they are is fish that were born last year that didn't spawn this year, that are just stayed out there and stacked up and fed. So midsummer is best for, no, not midsummer. Early summer is best for that. Now, midsummer is when you'll start getting your bigger schools of fish, but they pull off and on and they move around a lot. They're not as stable. They're not there every single day in the midsummer. They run around from spot to spot, and you have to run a bunch of spots to connect with them. It's a big timing thing in the midsummer. Does Smash Tech make a 5-inch line through Gary Gizzard? He's actually playing around with that right now. He hasn't made it in the past, but some touring pro asked him to do it, so he's kind of been working on it. I don't know if it's going to, when it'll be for sale. If it's going to be for sale, I don't know, but he's working on it. No problem, Juice. Somebody said they caught a 21-inch fish in 20 foot of water on a point today. Yeah, there are just a few isolated fish. I mean, very few isolated fish trying to get out there in that 20 to 30 foot of water. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm kind of spending a little bit of time each day running the graph a little bit, running the electronics, and kind of looking, because it's funny because I'm kind of known as a shallow water guy, but I'm usually the first guy out deep. Now, this year I won't be because there's already people going out there looking. But usually at the end of April, beginning of May is when I start finding this bite. And there's usually not anybody else out there. It's pretty cool. Right now, there's already folks out there, so it won't be the same this year. Still be good, though. Six-inch Hollowbody all day, the smaller one. It's so on the Hollowbodies, it makes a 6-inch and a 4.5-inch. I was throwing the 6-inch when I had some Gizzard shad around in that grass. Now I will go back to the 6-inch for isolated big bites. When I'm trying to catch my number zone, a lot of times with customers, you are trying to put them on as many fish as possible. I'm going to throw the 4.5-inch. If I got somebody that wants to head hunt, I would put that 6-inch Hollowbody in their hands and just tie a strap around their wrist and tell them you just throw that all day. Because that bait absolutely gets a big bite, and it absolutely will get bit around pretty much all grass that has any water clarity right now. It will get bit, and probably will continue to do so all summer long. When is my next open day? June 14th is my next open date. Can Smash Tech paint a 5-inch Gizzard shad and bluegill pattern? Yes, they can. Email them on their site personally. Just send them an email and ask them if they can make you some 5-inch Gary Gizzards and bluegill pattern. and he can. There'll probably be a minimum of how many you have to order. That's why he makes them for Tackle Warehouse, because they order a bunch at a time. It's labor intensive painting those baits he has to paint like that. I'm out banging the bank right now, fishing a glide, looking for a big date for the night. I like that, Matt Carville. I like you. Glide bait. Hey, glide baits get a little bite every once in a while. By the way, yeah, glide baits. I'm waiting for my new 6th Sense glide bait. He's supposed to be getting me some new ones in, so we'll see. I swear, man. Sometimes I get so tired trying to make this Wi-Fi work. It's ridiculous. Hey, I'm back. Unbelievable. Really sorry about all the connectivity issues tonight. I apologize greatly. I hope we helped you tonight. I'm kind of sad and down. I was all pumped up, ready to do the live stream tonight, and then we had signal problems the whole time. So sorry about that, guys. If you got any more, here we go. S-Waver 200. S-Waver 200, Matt Carville told me he caught his 2 biggest glide bait fish on S-Waver. S-Waver's a great bait, man. It's a really good bait. All right, man. If y'all got any more questions, if y'all ask questions I didn't answer, pop them in real quick. We'll just stay on a few more minutes. If this signal goes again, guys, I'm going to be done, man. It's like, I'm so tired of bad signals. All right. Well, hey, appreciate you guys staying with us all night, man. I know most of y'all stayed with us through all the connectivity issues. It means a lot. I apologize for those. It's giving me a headache just thinking about it, but yeah, good now. It's good now that I'm about ready to wrap it up. It's going to be good, right? That's the way it goes. June 14th, another person asking about openings. June 14th is my next open day. What hooks am I using on the Impact Shad? Well, the weightless presentation, I'm using a 4-aught EWG owner cutting point hook. That's my favorite EWG hook. And then on the sight fishing rig, I'm just using an old flipping hook. I like that Mustad with that welded ultra pin. I think it's called Mustad Ultra Pin. Really, really good. Thank you, Willie. I appreciate that, sir. All right, boys. Best flipping bait. Best flipping bait. Well, that would depend if you're talking about punching or just flipping kind of stumps. Don't tell Heath Taylor I said this, but in the summertime, it's a rage crawl. It is. I like the smash crawl, but I like it better when the water's cooler. I like the rage crawl. It has a little bit more faster swimming action to it in the summertime. Flipping reeds, yeah. So flipping reeds, I want something that has a little more swim to it, a little more kick. Rage crawl would be hard to beat in that situation. I'll tell you what else is really good, especially if you're flipping a little bit lighter weight. It's going to be a baby brush hog. It's probably the best all time. Probably caught more fish than all the others combined. Baby brush hog's really hard to argue with when you're flipping light Texas rigs. Rage crawl's really good too, though. I'll tell you one that I like a lot. We can't sell it, but I got a guy that makes me that Rage Menace. You guys ever heard of the Rage Menace? It's a bigger version of that. He can't sell it because it's a patent violation, but he makes it for himself and he makes it for me, and I love him for it. But that Rage Menace, that bigger version of that one, man, I don't know about the smaller one, but that bigger one, oh my goodness, does it get bit. It's awesome. What color? Day in, day out, every day, probably my favorite color is probably watermelon red. Just, in all conditions, all things considered, watermelon red probably gets as many bites. I like anything watermelon, though. Watermelon candy, watermelon magic. There's a lot of different watermelon variations you can use that are really good. Okeechobee, actually, you know what? Scratch that. Scratch watermelon red. Okeechobee crawl, my favorite color on flipping soft plastics. What weight tungsten? I like 3/8 ounce a lot. But I tend to go as light as I can get away with per the wind and the cover. So I may go down to 3/16, 1/4 ounce, whatever have you. If I was flipping reeds, I probably, on a calm day, would be going to like a 3/16 ounce weight, maybe a 1/4 ounce weight. And then on a windier day, I'd go 3/8 or 1/2 ounce just to make sure that I could feel the bait good. No one set weight though. That's going to depend on the situation. All right. Flipping hooks. When I'm flipping, I'll tell you this, guys. I like the J shape, straight shank flipping hooks most of the time with a weight. When I have a weight on it, I want the flipping hook. The EW. See you next time. I'm sorry for the signal. Hey, came back. We're gonna wrap it up before it does it again. Like I said, man, you guys are awesome. Appreciate y'all so much for being here with me every week like you do. Bearing with me through all the technical difficulties, as we like to say out here in deep East Texas. And I guess that's going to do it for us tonight. Hey, appreciate you joining us. We'll see you next time right here on your Lake Fork Guide.